Hello, everyone, and welcome. In this lecture, I'm going to give a very brief introduction to the UK. So let's get started. So the first thing to understand is that it's complicated. What is complicated? Well, the name is complicated. We have many different names. For example, Britain, Great Britain, the United Kingdom, and even the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Why do we have so many different ways to say the name of this area? Well, there's two things we need to think about. We need to think about geography and we need to think about politics. Let's start with geography. So we're going to look at a map in a moment, but the island can be divided into kind of two areas. So we have Great Britain, which is the largest island, and then we have a smaller island to the west, which we call Ireland. So that's the geography part of it, and that's quite clear. But then we also have politics, and politics, as always, makes things complicated. So we have the Republic of Ireland, which is part of Ireland. And we also have this area called the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So we can see we've got two Irelands, the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. So let's look at this map here. Starting with geography, the large island is this area here, the main part here, all the way outside here. This would be the large island, which we call Great Britain, okay? This smaller island I'm talking about is this part here, all of this. All of this together we call Ireland. And those are the two main geographical terms that we need to understand. Moving to politics, we have the Republic of Ireland. Republic basically means no king, no queen. You probably know that Great Britain has a queen, Queen Elizabeth II, and she is the queen of all of these countries, apart from this part here, this yellow part here, which we call the Republic of Ireland. Okay, the Republic of Ireland is separate from the United Kingdom. So, for example, the Republic of Ireland uses a different type of money. They use the euro, whereas in the UK we use the pound. We use the British pound. So what we have here, we can see that there's a divide. If I find my mouse, we see there's a divide between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is part of the UK. Okay, so the UK is Scotland in the north, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. All four of those countries together are the United Kingdom. The Republic of Ireland, this area in the south, is separate. It's not part of the United Kingdom. Okay. So go back to the term Great Britain. Why is Great Britain great? I'm from Great Britain, so I like to think that Great Britain is great. But why do we call it Great Britain? Well, there is part of France which is also called Britain. You can actually see it on this map here, this part in the northwest, and it's actually called Bretagne. Bretagne. And this is the same word that the French use for Britain. So in French, Great Britain is Grand Bretagne, Great Britain. But they also have this area in France called Bretagne. So to be clear about the difference between the two places, one of them was called Great Britain, Grand Bretagne. So Great Britain is much bigger than this smaller Bretagne. So we have kind of big and small Britain. So we can see that the word great means big. It means big Britain. It doesn't mean excellent. It doesn't mean wonderful. It just means big. So that's why we say Great Britain. So let's try to understand the differences between the countries. And one way we can look at this is sports. As you can see, it says sometimes the countries play together, sometimes they play separately. It depends on the sport. So you can see the 5 countries along the top, and we have 4 examples of different sporting events. Starting with the Olympics. The Olympics is interesting because Great Britain competes together. So England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland all compete together as Great Britain. Ireland, as in the Republic of Ireland, they have their own team for the Olympics. Okay? If we look at cricket, cricket is not popular in Japan. Maybe you've never heard of cricket. It's a bit like baseball. It's an early form of baseball that's very popular in parts of the UK. So for cricket, England and Wales play together as one team. Scotland has its team, and Ireland, North and South together, play as one team. Okay? Rugby union, we had the Rugby World Cup in Japan recently. England has a team, Wales has a team, Scotland has a team, and Ireland again play together as one team. In football, or soccer as you call it in Japan, each country has their own team. England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland all have their own teams. It's quite interesting, it's quite confusing. There's some reasons from history why the teams play like this. The Olympics, for me, the Olympics is always nice because it brings everyone together in Great Britain to support each other. It's the only time that we can support each other in sporting events. In rugby and in football, we're very competitive. I'm from Scotland, and we love to play the other teams and compete with them. But it's also nice sometimes to compete as Great Britain at the Olympics. Some differences we can find between the countries include names. Here we've got an example of some family names, common family names in each country. In England, the family name Smith is very common. And Smith actually means a person who makes things. So, for example, if you were a silversmith, you make things out of silver. Okay? A blacksmith would make something out of iron. Okay? So iron, it could be pots and pans, it could be even the metal shoes for horses. A blacksmith would make those. Also, family names finishing in S-O-N, so Johnson, Thompson, Jackson. So that son means son of. So Johnson, son of John, or John's son. Okay. Wales, some very common names in Wales include Evans, Jones, Williams, Morgan. Very, very common. If you meet people with those names, either they are from Wales or their family comes from Wales. Moving to Scotland and Ireland, we see many Scottish names starting with M-A-C, so Mac. My family name is MacLeod, and you have other names like MacDonald, Mackenzie. So M-A-C at the start of a name is a typical name from Scotland. Ireland has a similar type of name, but without the A, so MC, so McDonald or McCarthy. Okay, so the burger chain, you probably all know, McDonald's is the Irish spelling, the MC, McDonald's. Another common Irish name that you might see is O something, so O'Connor, O'Sullivan, or O'Reilly. So the O means of, so of Connor, of Sullivan, of that family, from that family. So these are some big differences we see in terms of names. Okay. Symbols. Every country has symbols that it associates for its people. Here we can see the four main countries of the UK. Each country has its own flag. I will talk about the flags in a moment. The interesting thing to note, first of all, is that Scotland has two flags, the St. Andrew's Cross, that blue and white flag, but we also have the yellow flag with the lion on it. Okay, and that flag is actually related to the royal family. Okay, so if you visit some royal castles in Scotland, you will often see that flag at the royal castles. Ireland, we can see the Northern Ireland flag, which is the red cross with a white background, and we see the Republic of Ireland flag, which is the three colours, the green, the white, and the orange. Moving down, we have more symbols. England's symbol, very famous symbol, is the rose. Wales, they have a leek, which is a kind of vegetable I'm sure you've seen, and a daffodil. Scotland's flower symbol is a thistle. And then we have the shamrock from Ireland. Colours: white for England, red for Wales, blue for Scotland, and green for Ireland. We also have something called patron saints. This is a little confusing. I don't think we have time to discuss in this lecture, but every country has a patron saint. And each patron saint has its own day. Okay. So something to understand about the UK is that England is the biggest country. By a long way, England is the biggest country. Here we have the population numbers here. And England has a population of about 56 million. And Scotland, 5.5 million. Wales, 3. Northern Ireland, about 2. So you see that England makes up about 85% of the population of the UK. And it's also the largest in terms of land area. Okay. England is also the most densely populated. If you look at this last section here, population density, 430 people for every square kilometre. So it's quite dense. Compare that to Scotland, which has 70 people per square kilometre. And that's a big difference. So Scotland, lots and lots of countryside, mountains, etc. England has lots of cities and towns and villages quite closely packed together. So just to summarize, England is the biggest country. Their government is based in London. This image here is what we call the Houses of Parliament. This is where our government meets. They have their meetings here. And maybe you recognize this famous building here. Some people call it Big Ben. The truth is, it's the bell inside which is Big Ben. The tower is called St. Stephen's Tower, but inside the bell that makes the noise, that is Big Ben. So remember that if you get a chance to go to the UK, it's the bell, not the tower. And of course, in all of these countries, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, everybody speaks English. In Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland, there are other languages, which we will talk about in another lecture, but everybody speaks English. So let's go back to the flags here. Many English people would say England when they should say Great Britain or the UK. For example, many English people might look at this flag and they might think this is the English flag. Well, this is not the English flag, it's the flag of the UK, not only England. Okay. This here is the flag of England. Okay. If we compare it to the other one, this flag, we can see there's the red cross, and you can see the red cross here. But the other parts to it actually come from other flags. So here we have all the different flags of the UK and Northern Ireland. We can see the Scotland flag, which we mentioned earlier, the England flag in the centre here. This flag here, the flag of the red dragon and the white and green background, this is the flag of Wales. It looks like a very old, a very ancient flag. The truth is it's not very old, but it is quite a unique flag. And down here in the bottom left, we see the flag for Northern Ireland and the three-coloured flag of Ireland. And if you look carefully, you can see that the UK flag, this flag at the top here, is actually the Scotland flag, the England flag, and the Northern Ireland flag mixed together. You can see the England flag across the top here. You can see the blue Scotland flag in the background. And then you can see the red cross for Ireland, Northern Ireland, in the background. There's no Wales flag because when this flag was made, England and Wales was one country. Okay? Wales did not exist at that time. Also, there's no Republic of Ireland flag because it's not part of the UK. So this flag here is an interesting mix between the different countries. Recently, there has been discussion about perhaps Scotland leaving the UK. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Will the flag change if Scotland leaves the UK? So I'm going to finish there. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.